All right, welcome back. So in our C++ journey, we've mostly been dealing with arrays as these simple one-dimensional lists. But let's be real, when does data ever stay that simple? What happens when you're dealing with something like a chessboard, a spreadsheet, or a map in a game? Well, today, we're leveling up. We're adding a new dimension and jumping into the awesome world of 2D arrays. So here's the game plan. First, we're going to talk about why we even need to go beyond a simple list. Then we'll get into what a 2D array actually is. Hint, it's pretty cool. We'll build one from scratch, figure out how to grab specific things from it, and then how to visit every single spot in the grid. And by the end, you'll be all set to build your own grid-based projects. Okay, let's start with the most important question you should always ask. Why? Why bother moving from a perfectly good list to a more complex grid? Let's take a look at where the good old 1D array starts to fall short. Look, a standard one-dimensional array is awesome for a simple list of things. If you just need a list of cars, right? Corvette, Mustang, Camry. A simple array is your best friend. It's linear, it's easy, it totally gets the job done, no problem there. But think about it, real-world data is messy. It's rarely that simple. What if you wanted to organize that car inventory? Maybe group all the Chevys together, all the Fords together, all the Toyotas together. All of a sudden, that single, flat list, it just doesn't work anymore. You don't need a list. You need a grid. And this is exactly where the 2D array comes in to save the day. It is the perfect tool for organizing data into a grid, and honestly, the concept behind it is way simpler than you might think. Let's see how it actually works. So what is a 2D array really? The idea is actually super elegant. It is, quite simply, an array of arrays. Imagine you have a big container, and inside each slot, instead of an item, you have another smaller container. That's the mental model you want to have. And this slide just lays it all out perfectly. On the left, you've got our good friend, the 1D array, just a single line of items. But on the right, you see the 2D array. It's got a structure. It's got rows, it's got columns. It's literally a list of lists. And notice those two sets of square brackets? That's your big clue that we're dealing with 2 dimensions now. All right, enough theory. Let's actually get our hands dirty and build one of these things in C++. So the syntax totally makes sense once you see it. You start with the data type, just like always. Then you give your array a name, and then come the 2 sets of square brackets. The first set tells C++ how many rows you want, and the second one, well, that tells it how many columns. Simple as that. Now let's look at a real example. Here, we're creating a grid of integers that's going to have 3 rows and 2 columns. And check out how we initialize it. See those inner curly braces? Each one of those, like 1, 2, represents one single row in our grid. And since we have 3 of those sets, we get 3 rows. Okay, let's break that down because this part is super important. That 3 tells C++ that our main or outer array has 3 elements in it. And then the next question is, well, what are those elements? That's what the 2 is for. It tells us that each of those elements is itself an array that holds 2 items. See? 3 rows, 2 columns. Okay, so we've successfully built our grid. Now, how do we get something out of it? How do we pinpoint one specific element inside that grid? This table is basically what our number grid looks like in the computer's memory. It's a table. It's got rows and columns. And just like we learned with 1D arrays, the numbering for both the rows and the columns starts at 0. So our 3 rows are indexed 0, 1, and 2, and our 2 columns are indexed 0 and 1. So take a look at the grid for a second. Knowing that we use 2 indexes, one for the row, one for the column, how would you tell the computer to go and grab the number 4? If you guessed 1, 1, you are absolutely right. Nailed it. We use the array name, followed by the row index in the first set of brackets, and then the column index in the second. The number 4 is in the second row, which is index 1, and the second column, also index 1. Let's just hammer this point home, because this is probably one of the most common places for bugs when you're starting out. The first bracket is always the row. The second is always the column. And please, please, please never forget, computers start counting from 0. Forgetting this is practically a rite of passage, but let's try to skip it if we can. So grabbing one element is cool, but what if we want to do something with everything in the grid? Like, what if we want to print out the whole thing, or maybe add up all the numbers? For that, we need a way to tour the entire grid. And the classic go-to way to do this is with nested loops. It's such a clever concept. You have one loop on the outside, and its only job is to go down the rows, one by one, And then for each of those rows, you have another loop, an inner loop, that goes across all the columns for that specific row. And here's what that looks like in code. See the for loop with the variable I? That's our outer loop, our row hopper. It goes from 0 to 1 to 2. The for loop with j is our inner loop, the column crosser. It goes from 0 to 1. And inside, we use I and j to access every single spot. 0, 0, then 0, 1, then the next row, 0, 1, 1, 1, all the way through. Now, it's really important to understand how this actually runs. When the outer row loop starts when I is 0, the entire inner column loop runs from start to finish. It'll visit every single column in that first row. Only after that's done does the outer loop tick over to the next row, and the whole process repeats. It's a system that guarantees we visit every single cell, one full row at a time.
So we've figured out how to create these grids, how to access them, and how to loop through them. But so what? Why does this actually matter? What can you really do with this new power? Oh, the applications are literally everywhere. Think about any game board. Tic-tac-toe, chess, battleship. That's a 2D array, right there. Any kind of spreadsheet data, a matrix of numbers for math, a seating chart for a theater, even the pixels in an image. Organizing inventories, you name it. This structure is unbelievably useful.
You have just unlocked a truly fundamental tool for organizing complex data. You're not stuck with simple little lists anymore. You now have the power to build entire worlds with rows and columns. So the only question left is, what are you going to create? Thanks for hanging out with me today.